So today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of Litecoin.
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 Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
everybody knows Bitcoin, but how many people actually know about Litecoin?
Right.
It's kind of like, it gets called Bitcoin's little brother. But we're going to see if that's really doing it justice.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me because it's one of the cryptocurrencies that has just consistently stayed in like the top 10 or 15
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies by market cap. And
Yeah.
that alone, I think, says something that it's had this staying power.
Yeah, for sure. And so for this deep dive, we're looking at a really good article from trcrypto.news. It's called What is Litecoin? Guide to History Uses and Future Trends.
Okay.
And we'll unpack its beginnings and, how it works and why it might deserve a place in your crypto, landscape.
So what was the impetus for Litecoin's creation?
Yes.
Was it just riding on the coattails of Bitcoin, or was there a bigger vision?
It wasn't just a copycat project. Litecoin launched back in 2011 and was created by Charlie Lee, a former Google engineer.
Wow.
And his goal wasn't actually to clone Bitcoin, but to actually make it better, improve on the idea.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back to 2011, that was still super early in the crypto space.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin was obviously groundbreaking,
Right.
but people were already starting to see some of the limitations.
Totally. Yeah.
So I guess he saw an opportunity to fix those limitations and make cryptocurrency more accessible for people.
Yeah, absolutely. He wanted it to be faster and more lightweight, Bitcoin, hence the name Litecoin.
Right.
But it wasn't just speed. He also wanted everyday users to be able to participate in mining, which is, the process of validating transactions and earning those new coins.
Yeah, and that was something that was becoming an issue with Bitcoin, right? Because you had these massive mining operations that were making it very difficult for individuals with regular computers to really participate.
To mine.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Litecoin was built a little differently technically to sort of level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So there are a few key things that set Litecoin apart from Bitcoin. Transaction speed.
Okay.
The way that mining works, the total number of coins, and transaction fees. So let's start with transaction speed.
Okay.
Litecoin generates blocks, which are bundles of verified transactions every 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
Compared to Bitcoin's 10 minutes.
So it's like 4 times faster.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to make a difference for, for people who want to use it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that speed actually comes from another difference, which is the mining algorithm. Litecoin uses an algorithm called script, which is less resource intensive than Bitcoin's SHA-256 algorithm.
Okay.
So that means that it's easier for people to mine Litecoin using regular computers, as opposed to a specialized hardware that uses tons of energy.
Oh, okay. So it's more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
As well as more accessible.
Exactly.
Okay. So it seems like Lee really, stuck to that vision.
Yeah.
Of making mining accessible.
Definitely.
Okay. So I'm starting to get a sense of, why Litecoin really carved out its own place in the crypto world.
Yeah.
But what about the total number of coins? The article mentions that Litecoin has a higher cap than Bitcoin.
Right. So Litecoin has a max supply of 84 million coins.
Okay.
4 times higher than Bitcoin's 21 million.
Okay.
This greater supply, I think, is actually a deliberate choice and reflects kind of a different philosophy about how cryptocurrencies should function. Bitcoin's scarcity is designed to increase its value.
Right.
Whereas Litecoin, having a greater supply, could make it more suitable as like a medium of exchange that we use every day.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like, one is like a rare collectible, the other one's like currency.
Yeah, like a practical currency.
Yeah, okay.
And that brings us to transaction fees.
Okay.
The article points out that Litecoin fees are generally much lower than Bitcoin's.
Right. Which makes sense because it's faster transactions and...
Exactly, and smaller block sizes.
Yeah, smaller block sizes.
All those things contribute,
to those lower fees, so it makes it more appealing for smaller, frequent transactions.
Right. I mean, it sounds like Litecoin is really going for that practicality of like an everyday cryptocurrency, where it's like speed and affordability and ease of use.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the things that are being prioritized.
Right. Okay, so now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about how Litecoin is being used in the real world.
Right. So we've gone through the technical. Yeah, we've gone through the technical stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, what's the impact?
Yeah, what's the actual impact?
What are the use cases? So what do you think is interesting about Litecoin's use cases?
Well, the article mentions a bunch of applications, but I think its potential as a cost-effective solution for cross-border transfers is particularly noteworthy.
Right.
Because traditional methods can be very slow, expensive, and, bureaucratic.
Yeah, a lot of hurdles there.
Yeah, exactly. So Litecoin, with its speed and low fees, offers a really interesting alternative.
Yeah, especially, think about the people who are sending money to loved ones in other countries, where those systems are really a nightmare.
Exactly. And it's not just for individuals. Even businesses can benefit from using Litecoin for international payments because it can streamline their operations and reduce costs.
Right. Okay. So beyond, those cross-border payments, what are some of the other uses that are gaining some traction?
The article points out that more and more businesses are starting to accept Litecoin as payment from online retailers to brick-and-mortar stores.
Wow.
So that growing acceptance of Litecoin in the mainstream commercial space is a positive sign, I think.
So it really is moving past just, being an investment.
Yeah.
It's actually becoming something that people use.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's crucial for any cryptocurrency that wants to achieve widespread success.
Right.
It needs to have
real-world utility.
Right. And not just be something that's speculative.
Right. Okay. It sounds like Litecoin's on the right track.
Yeah.
But it's not just about payments.
Yeah.
Right? The article also talks about its role in trading and investment.
Right. Because like most cryptocurrencies, Litecoin is actively traded on various exchanges, which, draws in investors looking to profit from price fluctuations.
Of course. Yeah.
It's important to approach this aspect with caution.
Always.
Because the crypto market is volatile.
Yeah, very volatile.
And investments can be risky.
Yeah, for sure. So, do your research, understand the risks.
Right.
And never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Exactly. Sound advice for any investment.
Right.
But especially in the crypto space.
So let's kind of dig into the value proposition of Litecoin a little bit.
Okay.
What factors contribute to its, perceived value and potential for growth?
Well, the article highlights a couple of key elements.
Okay.
The first is its limited supply.
Okay.
Which creates scarcity, just like Bitcoin.
This classic supply and demand.
Exactly.
Right.
And this scarcity can potentially drive up Litecoin's value over time.
As demand increases.
Exactly.
Okay.
And its value proposition is further strengthened by regular halving events.
Halving events. Okay, now what are those and how do they affect the value?
So a halving event is a pre-programmed event in Litecoin's code.
Okay.
That reduces the rewards that miners get for validating transactions.
Okay.
These events happen about every 4 years, and they effectively cut the rate of new Litecoin creation in half.
So it slows it down.
Exactly. So the rate at which new Litecoin
enters the circulation
slows down, which limits the supply even further.
Right, and that puts that upward pressure on the price.
Exactly.
It's interesting how these built-in mechanisms are really designed to influence the economics.
Really is.
Of the cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the ingenuity of the people who created it.
Okay, so beyond, the scarcity and the halving events, what are some other factors that contribute to Litecoin's value?
Well, the article emphasizes Litecoin's efficiency as a fast and low-cost way to exchange value.
Right.
And this is a huge advantage in a world where people are looking for faster and more affordable ways to transact.
Right. It's like, paying a hefty fee for a wire transfer.
Right.
Versus sending money instantly through an app.
Exactly.
Okay.
That ease of use is a big selling point for Litecoin.
The article also mentions Litecoin's decentralized nature.
Right.
As a factor that contributes to its value.
Yeah.
So what does decentralization mean for cryptocurrencies?
Well, it basically means that Litecoin isn't controlled by any single entity.
Right.
Like a government or a corporation.
Right. Okay.
So that gives users confidence in its stability.
Okay.
Because it's not subject to the whims of a central authority.
Right. It's like the difference between a currency backed by a government, which can be subject to inflation and manipulation.
Right.
Versus something that operates independently.
Exactly, on a distributed network.
Right.
That's a great analogy. And I think that independence is a core value proposition.
Yeah.
For many crypto enthusiasts.
Okay, so now I'm kind of getting the full picture here.
Yeah.
Of Litecoin's appeal.
Yeah.
There's one other thing that's kind of intriguing that the article mentions, and that's Litecoin's price resilience.
Oh, yeah.
Its ability to withstand those market swings and remain a top contender.
Yeah, that's a really good point because, like any asset,
it's had its ups and downs.
Litecoin's price has experienced ups and downs,
right?
But it's consistently stayed among the leading cryptocurrencies.
Right.
And I think that resilience speaks to its underlying strength and the market's confidence in its future.
It's like a ship that can, sail through the storms and come out stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our Litecoin deep dive.
We have.
We explored the origins, how it differs from Bitcoin, its various uses, the factors that contribute to its value.
I think we've got a really good sense of what Litecoin is.
Yeah.
And why it's carved out this unique space in this ever-evolving world of cryptocurrency.
And so in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to switch gears a little bit and address some of the common questions about Litecoin, just to make sure we've got all those fundamentals and maybe address some curiosities.
Sounds good.
So stick with us for more Litecoin insights.
Welcome back to our Litecoin deep dive. So we've built this solid foundation of knowledge about Litecoin. Now let's actually go into some common questions that people have about it.
Yeah, I love this part. It's like the, getting into the nitty-gritty of really understanding it.
Yeah.
So what's first on the list?
Well, one of the most basic questions is how many Litecoins are there?
Okay.
And the article tells us there'll only ever be 84 million Litecoins.
Okay.
Which is 4 times greater than Bitcoin's limit of 21 million.
So it's more abundant than Bitcoin, but still a finite resource.
Exactly.
So how does that kind of difference in supply affect its value proposition compared to Bitcoin?
It definitely plays a role. Bitcoin's extreme scarcity is a major driver of its high price.
Right.
Litecoin being more plentiful tends to be more affordable.
Right.
But it's important to remember that scarcity is just one factor that influences value.
Yeah, things like, adoption and how useful it is and the overall market sentiment.
Exactly. All those things play a huge role.
Okay, so the next question is, who created Litecoin?
Right.
Now, we touched upon this a little bit, but just to reiterate, who is the brains behind this?
Well, Litecoin was the brainchild of Charlie Lee, a former Google engineer who launched it back in 2011.
Okay, so we've got a tech-savvy creator, with a vision to improve upon Bitcoin's design. But what makes Litecoin unique? I mean, what are the actual nuts and bolts here?
Right, so let's get down to the specifics.
Yeah.
Well, the article actually highlights 3 key distinctions.
Okay.
First, it's speed. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but Litecoin generates blocks every 2.5 minutes, making it significantly faster than Bitcoin's 10-minute block time.
So Litecoin is the speedster of the crypto world.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so what's the second thing that sets it apart?
Its mining algorithm.
Okay.
Litecoin uses an algorithm called Script, which was specifically chosen because it's less resource intensive than Bitcoin's SHA-256.
Okay.
Meaning that more people can participate in mining without needing specialized power-hungry hardware.
Right, and that goes back to, Lee's vision of making it more decentralized and accessible.
Exactly. That was the goal.
Okay, and the third distinction?
A third distinction is its total coin supply of 84 million, which strikes that balance between scarcity and usability.
Right.
It's not as scarce as Bitcoin, potentially making it more suitable for those smaller everyday transactions.
Okay, so if Bitcoin's the heavyweight champion, then Litecoin is the, more agile sprinter.
I like that.
Okay.
That's a great analogy.
So, both have their strengths.
Yeah.
They appeal to different people. And it's just, understanding the nuances of each cryptocurrency.
Yeah, you got to do your research
before you make those decisions.
For sure.
So before we, move on to the last part of our Litecoin deep dive, what are your thoughts about, Litecoin's future? Do you think it'll step out of Bitcoin's shadow?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It's always tricky to predict the future, of any cryptocurrency with certainty.
Right.
However, I think Litecoin's unique features, its consistent performance over the years, and the fact that more people are using it suggests that it has a solid base for continued success.
Yeah, I think it's really carved out a nice niche.
Yeah. It has.
For itself.
It really has.
And it's got a pretty dedicated, community of users and developers.
Definitely. And as the cryptocurrency landscape continues to evolve, I think Litecoin's focus on speed, affordability, and accessibility will become even more valuable.
It's definitely a space worth watching. So let's wrap up this, deep dive by exploring some potential future trends and just kind of parting thoughts on Litecoin. Join us in the final part as we look ahead at what might be in store for this cryptocurrency. And welcome back for the final part of our Litecoin deep dive.
Litecoin!
Yeah, we've journeyed through its past, we've explored its present, and now it's time to, put on our futuristic thinking caps.
Right.
And consider what might be next for Litecoin.
Well, the crypto world is always changing.
Yeah.
But certain trends, point towards some exciting possibilities for Litecoin.
Right.
Remember its strengths.
Right.
Speed and efficiency.
Right.
As the world embraces these faster payments
Yeah.
and a seamless cross-border transactions.
Litecoin could be in a prime position.
Yeah.
To capitalize on that.
I agree.
So what specific developments or trends should we be watching out for?
One area that I'm particularly interested in is the growth of what are called layer 2 solutions.
Layer 2 solution.
Yeah, so these are technologies that are built on top of existing blockchains,
Okay.
like Litecoin, to boost their scalability and transaction speeds.
So it's like adding a turbocharger to an already fast car.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So think even faster transactions, which would be game-changing for industries like online gaming or microtransactions.
Okay, so that's one thing to watch out for.
Yeah, and another trend is how crypto is becoming more and more integrated into our everyday financial systems.
Okay.
We're already seeing, businesses accepting crypto payments.
Right.
And that's only going to increase.
So it seems like Litecoin, with its user-friendliness and lower fees, is going to be, maybe a front runner for mainstream adoption.
Yeah, exactly, because it's so easy to use.
Right.
I think that's going to be a big selling point for people.
Yeah, as more people explore crypto.
For sure.
It's exciting to think about, a future where paying with Litecoin is as common as, swiping a credit card.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let's kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture of the crypto landscape. One of the biggest things, that's on the horizon is this thing called decentralized finance, or DeFi. DeFi.
It's everywhere.
It's like the buzzword, right?
It is a buzzword.
It's everywhere, but what does it actually mean?
Well, essentially, DeFi aims to recreate those traditional financial services.
Okay.
Things like lending, borrowing, trading.
Okay.
But on a decentralized blockchain platform. So it's like cutting out the middleman, the banks, giving individuals more control over their finances.
So how does Litecoin fit into all of this?
Well, Litecoin's fast transaction speeds and low fees make it an attractive platform for building DeFi applications.
Okay.
So you can imagine a world where you can earn interest on your Litecoin holdings or take out a loan instantly without needing a bank's approval.
That's like, the ultimate financial freedom and accessibility.
Yeah.
That so many people want.
Yeah. And Litecoin's well positioned to be a part of that, to make that a reality.
I'm feeling pretty optimistic about Litecoin's future.
Me too.
But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. Kind of, ponder as they continue exploring crypto.
Okay. I like that.
So while Bitcoin might be the current king of crypto, Litecoin, with its unique features and ability to bounce back from challenges, has definitely carved out a space for itself.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a reminder that in the world of technology, innovation never stops. There's always room for new contenders. And those who adapt and evolve often have the greatest staying power.
I love that observation because Litecoin's story is really a testament to the power of continuous improvement. That relentless pursuit of finding a better way. And it goes beyond just crypto.
Totally.
It inspires us to challenge the status quo. And strive for excellence in everything that we do.
And with that note, we come to the end of our deep dive into Litecoin.
Litecoin.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring this topic with us. And remember, knowledge is power. And the more you learn about this ever-changing world of cryptocurrency, the better equipped you'll be to navigate its exciting possibilities.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
Yes.
And keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.